Have you ever heard a story that's so spooky, it kind of makes you wonder what's real and what's not? Well, today we're diving headfirst into the foggy, mysterious world of one of the greatest mystery stories ever told. Arthur Conan Doyle's The Hound of the Baskervilles. We're going to break down the very first few chapters and set the stage for an epic story of suspense, creepy old curses, and some seriously brilliant detective work.
Right off the bat, this is the huge question hanging over everything. Is the Baskerville family actually being hunted by some kind of supernatural beast, a terrifying hound straight out of a nightmare? Or is there a perfectly logical, very human reason for all the scary stuff happening out on that gloomy moor? That's the big conflict we're going to dig into.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll hear the bizarre story that kicks this whole thing off. Then, we'll dive into the ancient legend that started it all. After that, we'll see how a master detective tackles the problem, watch the big clash between spooky beliefs and cold, hard facts, and finally, meet the new guy in town who's in some serious danger.
Okay, so our story doesn't actually start on some dark and stormy moor. Nope. It begins in the famous London apartment of Sherlock Holmes at 221B Baker Street. Now, this place is all about logic and reason, a total contrast to the spooky, superstitious world of the Baskervilles. And into this world of science walks a country doctor, a guy named James Mortimer, with a problem so weird he knows only the world's greatest detective can handle it. So here are the grim details. Sir Charles Baskerville, a rich and well-liked guy, is dead. They found him at the end of this creepy hedge-lined path on his property called the Yew Alley. Officially, they said it was a heart attack. But here's the kicker, the one detail that gives you chills. His face was completely twisted in an expression of pure, absolute horror, like he saw something completely terrifying right before he died.
So, to explain that look of terror, Dr. Mortimer pulls out this really old family document, and this is where the story goes from a normal mystery to something way, way spookier. It's an ancient legend, a family curse passed down for generations, and it is seriously creepy.
And get this, the manuscript is dated 1742. This isn't some rumor somebody cooked up last week. It's a piece of history that the Baskerville family has taken seriously for hundreds of years, you know? It gives the whole story this incredible weight, like the past is literally reaching out to haunt the present.
So the legend starts with this ancestor, Hugo Baskerville, who was a really, really bad dude. The story goes that he was so awful, he actually promised his soul to the forces of evil if they would just help him catch this young woman who was running away from him. Then he let his hunting dogs loose to chase her down across the moor. Just a terrible guy doing a terrible thing that was going to have some terrible consequences.
And here it is, the terrifying climax of the legend. When Hugo's buddies finally caught up to him, they saw this thing, a demonic creature, a huge shadowy hound, standing right over his body. This is the image that has haunted the Baskerville family forever, a supernatural monster born from one man's evil, a nightmare creature that supposedly still stalks the moor.
Okay, deep breath. After that chilling ghost story, the book just yanks us right back into the world of science and logic. Because in that room is Sherlock Holmes, and he does not believe in ghost stories. For him, the investigation starts not with some ancient legend, but with something super simple. The walking stick Dr. Mortimer accidentally left behind. See, for Holmes, the truth isn't in curses, it's in the tiny details you can see and touch.
So what's Holmes's superpower? It's called deduction. Basically, it's the art of seeing huge truths in the smallest little details. He doesn't guess, he just looks at tiny facts that nobody else thinks are important, and he follows them, one logical step at a time, until he's built a perfect picture of the truth. It's incredible. And here's where he just blows your mind. Just from a few marks on a stick, Holmes figures out that its owner is a doctor who used to work at a specific London hospital, that he moved to the country, and even that he owns a medium-sized dog. He builds a complete profile of a man he has never even met just by looking closely. It's his scientific method in action, and it's awesome to see.
This brings us right to the heart of the conflict. You've got Dr. Mortimer's spooky, supernatural story on one side and Holmes' cool, scientific approach on the other. But now, Dr. Mortimer's about to reveal a piece of evidence that seems to connect these two opposite worlds, and it's going to challenge everything Holmes thinks he knows.
And here it is, the bombshell. Dr. Mortimer admits he held something back from the police. He says that near Sir Charles's body, he saw footprints. And they weren't a person's footprints or even a normal dog's. They were the tracks of a massive hound, just like the one in the legend. And suddenly, that old family curse doesn't sound like just a story anymore.
So, this is where we stand. You have two totally different ways of looking at this problem. Dr. Mortimer, a man of science, is so freaked out by what he saw that he's ready to believe in a monster. But Holmes? He's holding firm. He believes the answer has to be found in the real world. As he says, even if it looks like the work of the devil, the bad guys are probably made of flesh and blood. This is it. Superstition versus reason, fear versus logic.
And things are about to get a whole lot more urgent, because a new player just entered the game. The heir to the whole Baskerville fortune, Sir Henry Baskerville. He just got to London from Canada, and he has no idea that he's about to be thrown into this world of ancient curses and dark secrets. But it becomes very clear, very fast, that whatever got Sir Charles is now coming for him.
Sir Henry gets this anonymous note at his hotel. You know the type, all made from words cut out of a newspaper. Super creepy. But one word, just one, is handwritten: Moore. This is a direct threat. It proves the danger isn't just some old curse. It's a real person, right now, who is watching him and wants him to stay away from his new home.
And the weirdness just keeps piling up. First, the letter. Then, Sir Henry gets followed by some mysterious guy with a big beard in a taxi. Then, a brand new boot disappears from his hotel room. And the next day, a different old boot is stolen. I mean, what's up with the boots? It all seems so random, but to Sherlock Holmes, every single one of these bizarre little clues is a piece of a much larger puzzle. So what does Sir Henry do? Does he get scared and run back to Canada? No way. He's a Baskerville after all. He's stubborn, he's brave, and he's not about to be chased away by scary letters and stolen shoes. So despite all the danger, he decides he's going to Baskerville Hall to claim his home and face this curse head on. And so that leaves us with the biggest question of all. Sir Henry is walking right into what could be a trap. He's up against a centuries-old curse, a terrifying legend, and a very clever enemy who's hiding in the shadows. Is Sherlock Holmes's logical, scientific brain going to be enough to solve a mystery that feels like it's from another world? Or is the Hound of the Baskervilles about to claim its next victim? Well, you'll have to keep reading to find out.